Hey everybody, my name is Ben Gromiko. I'm from InterNACHI. That's the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors. We're the world's largest organization of residential and commercial property inspectors. We have members of our organization all over the world, primarily in North America, United States, Canada, but we have members in different countries. And I asked my buddy Ehab Farid to join us today. He's in Dubai. That's a city in the UAE, United Arab Emirates. And I asked him to just share about what it's like to be an InterNACHI member, a home inspector in Dubai and that beautiful city, and maybe compare it with where he's from. Also, he has a branch in Toronto, Canada, and how we can learn a little bit more about international home inspections. And Dubai is a beautiful place. I've always wanted to go, actually, and maybe we'll do some home inspections together, Ehab. So
That's
thanks
good.
again, buddy, for doing this, and
You're
and
welcome.
I appreciate it. Hey, what time is it over there, and where are you?
Is 9 p.m. and I'm at home
In Dubai.
in Dubai. Yes.
Well, thanks for talking to us. And if you're registered to attend, if you're attending this live webinar right now, feel free to ask questions or chat. This is a totally informal conversation. I just wanted to get to know more about home inspections in other countries. Ehab, if it's, let's see, it's 9 p.m. there, so I really appreciate you taking your evening to talk
Yeah,
to us.
that's okay. It's in Dubai. It's a city that usually does not sleep before
Doesn't
like 1 in the morning.
well,
It's a different profile here.
Well, tell us more about Dubai. It's a beautiful city. It's a city, one of the main cities in the UAE,
Yeah.
um, and there's it's United Arab Emirates, and the UAE is a country, and it's split or it's comprised of seven or eight
Uh,
emirates,
of 6 Emirates, if
six
I'm
emirates.
6 Emirates. So
Yeah.
there's Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Al Ain, Sharjah, Al Quwain. I always forget all the names, but
Yeah,
of course the capital of UAE is Abu Dhabi,
Abu Dhabi.
and Dubai is the financial, I would say, the financial capital. So all the
Yeah,
like most of the countries, you'll find like in Canada, Ottawa, which is much smaller than Toronto, but this is the political capital versus the financial capital. So
yeah,
most of the business when it comes to home inspection, it's concentrated on the capital, which is Abu Dhabi and Dubai. We operate in Dubai. We have an office in Dubai, and as you mentioned, we have a company in Toronto as well. And that's why everybody, if you're wondering what the GTA inspectors, where this came from,
yeah.
so it is Greater Toronto Area. So GTA, that's what it stands for, um, because of the Canadian where we started the Canadian business in Toronto in Mississauga. And when we decided to open in Dubai, we wanted to keep the same brand because we have all our social medias or whatever, so we didn't want to start from scratch. In order to kind of build on what we have already. So we kept it at GTA, but we thought people were not related to GTA. So we created a slogan on the Dubai website to say great thorough assessment. So
Yeah.
it was kind of a sneaky way to get around to get around the name basically.
Because maybe may not a whole lot of people in your area would know what Toronto is.
I mean, they wouldn't know, but like the whole GTA terms, no, it's
Right.
only known in North America, I guess. But they know Toronto, but what's Greater Toronto Area? They wouldn't get it.
So in Canada, there are provinces. In the United States, there's states. In UAE, there's emirates, and each emirate has a ruler, and then those rulers are in a council, and that council serves the president. Is that it? Something
Kind
like
of, yes. I think you're Dubai. So yes, you're right. Each emirate has its own ruler. So Sheikh, yeah, usually Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, who is the a very famous guy because he's the one who's behind all the development that happened in Dubai over the last 30 years or whatever.
that?
He's the ruler of Dubai, but at the same time he's the prime minister of the United Arab Emirates.
Yep.
So there's the president, which sits in Abu Dhabi, and he's the second man basically, and at the same time the ruler of Dubai. The
Asset.
others, like Sharjah or whatever, they have rulers as well, and they don't have any other role in the UAE from a cabinet standpoint.
I ask because in the United States, if you want to start a business, you kind of have to go to the state first and get there, register your business. Do you have to do something with the ruler? Do you have to ask permission, or do you have to certify or license? Is there
Yeah,
licensing or recognition?
yeah, which is that's a good area to start with the licensing requirement. It's quite a different way than what we were used to in North America in general, of course, in Canada, what I'm used to. So here, the licensing, it's pretty cumbersome, to be honest, because first of all, a couple of things. One, you don't have to be licensed from any association like InterNACHI or whatever association you're part of. That's for credibility purposes with the customers, with the client, that I'm a certified professional inspector from InterNACHI, for instance. Probably they don't know InterNACHI or they don't know anything because it's not a requirement. Um, and you're dealing with homeowners or whatever, but to put the logo and to put that you're certified and all your credentials, whatever, it gives you an edge over others, right? However, from a licensing standpoint, what they need here is, first of all, you have to be a civil engineer. So you cannot do the business without being a civil engineer, civil. So if you're any other sort of an engineer, you can't. This is one. Second, I don't know if you guys know, but in the UAE, um, some businesses, some activities, you have to have a local partner with you as well.
Yep.
The reason why I'm saying some activities, because some other activities, you're in the import and export business, you can open or you can own 100% shares of a company that will work in import and export. But anything related to services, you have to have a local partner.
Hmm.
And this local partner, they call them local service agent. It can be different models. Either he takes a lump sum amount every year, despite what you do, whether you make profit or not,
Hmm.
or he gets into 51% shares of your company and you take 49%. He will have to be a local citizen,
Huh.
which is something that has been there for a long time in general with the GCC countries, with the Gulf cooperative countries, which is the Saudi and the Qatar and the Kuwait or whatever. And I think the government is doing this to help their citizens, basically to kind of get the benefit of all the expats that come and do business in their country.
Yeah.
So the weird part is you have to be a civil engineer. So you're the actual person that will be the operating partner that will handle the operation. But also they require for that particular business, they call it property observer.
Hmm.
That's what the official name for the to get the license is called, property observer. Um, and they require that the local partner be a civil engineer as well. And they require that both the local partner and the operating person that will lead this company will have a minimum of 5 years experience. I'll tell you something that doesn't make a lot of sense to us, but that's the fun of this webinar, that let you know, guys, that there are things different. But you have to have experience in real estate. Real estate, so you have to be civil engineer, but you also have to have experience in real estate, which is a combination that is very hard to find, right? So that's for the local partners. So luckily we found a local partner to meet that criteria. And for us, because of my experience, I got an experience with 5 years in property inspection back in Canada, and I'm a civil engineer, so we're able to form the company.
Yeah.
So that's the licensing part. And then also, to get licensed, you have to get approval from what they call RERA. RERA is the Real Estate Regulatory Authority.
Hmm.
So they consider this business as part of the real estate, the area or whatever of Canada, or I don't know, North and in the US. But they consider this business as part of the real estate profession. So there's real estate sales people that sells sell real estate, and there are people like us that they consider that we're part of this, call it association or whatever, the Real Estate Regulatory Authority, which they have to approve you as well, which you inspect properties basically, or they call it, as I mentioned, observer. I don't know where this name came from.
So is it just you're not really hired? You're just in Dubai? You're part of the process. Like every home that gets sold and purchased has a home inspection?
No, no, man, that's good. You're asking a very good question to open the discussion, Ben. So absolutely. So in North America, we're used to, it's not mandatory when you're purchasing a property to have a property inspection, but 98% of the time it goes with offer to purchase conditional upon financing and inspection. That's what would typically happen, right? 98% or whatever. Some people opt not to. Here, it's not. It's people doesn't even, a lot of people, and I'll tell you a story to give you an idea how this business is very premature in this part of the world,
Mm.
which is a double-edged sword. One is that there's not a whole lot of competition, but also at the same time, we need to do a lot of work to create and build the awareness and build and generate the demand, basically. And so we're starting from which stuff that we never really had to do in Canada is to explain to people why do you need a property inspection. We're talking about starting from scratch. You're investing in your property. You're paying millions of dollars or dirhams or whatever, and you need to pay a little bit to make sure that you are getting the proper home or building or whatever. So that's the different part, versus what we're used to is that it does not go with any sense. And I'll tell you that the story is that when we first came, we thought the best thing is to approach the real estate companies and try to get promote ourselves through them. And every time we go, and there are big real estate, organizations like the Remax of the world or whatever, but local brands. And when I personally, it happened with me, many times, and I sit with the managing director of a company or whatever, and I tell them what we're all about and what property inspector is, and the response when that was in the beginning, is that, oh, it's a great idea. And I'm talking about a managing director that has been in that business for probably 20 years. It's a great idea, meaning, and he never heard about it before.
Right.
Can you imagine? So he never heard about it, but he likes the idea. So he gives us, kind of a two kind of vibes here. One is that, yes, it's a good idea and hopefully it will work. But at the same time, if you've been in the business for 20 years and you never heard about something called property inspection,
Yeah.
what are we talking about? So we're starting really from scratch.
Yep.
When we got into the business, we found that because UAE is full of expats as well. So most of the business that we get comes from people that came from their countries, Canadian, US citizens, even South African, Indian, in their countries, they are familiar with it. So when they come and purchase properties here, they know the concept of, and they call it snagging.
Right.
Probably a term that we never even say. You heard it before? Yeah. You call it, snagging.
Why is it called snagging?
Why it's called snagging? Because here, unlike what we're used to, again, that as per the standard of practice, we don't even look at cosmetics. Here, you need to look at cosmetics as well. So when you write the report, you need to look at every single thing. Why? Because most of the business that we get is from brand new homes that are delivered from developer.
Yep.
People are buying property and they are getting the pre-handover scheduled. They hire a third-party inspection company like us to go and do the snagging for them. Don't ask me where snagging came from. It becomes something familiar to me now because we always say it all the time. But snags meaning you see what needs to be done in the apartment or in the building or villa or whatever. You give them a report, they send it to the developer, and the developer would take that and rectify all the issues before the owner signs on the handover.
Right. Now,
so it's quite a different, yeah.
Now, what if Would your home inspection kill a deal? In that's a phrase that is used in other countries in the United States.
We did
Or
actually. We
what
did.
happens if you do a snag and you find a problem? Then what?
Uh, I'll tell you my own experience. We killed a couple of deals out of many, many deals that we did so far. But we killed a couple of deals, but it was pre-sale. As I told you, majority is pre-handover from brand new villas, mostly villas. But you get a portion of pre-sale, like somebody's buying, like similar to what you're used to. And a couple of deals would, we really broke the deals because of our report. And there was one of them, I recall, had a serious settlement. And long story, but not to bore you guys, but it was a perfectly built villa, but they decided to dig a swimming pool, and the guy that did it didn't forget to do shoring. So settlement happened, and the settlement impacted nothing structurally, but the whole uh, window. Like, I'm talking about 10-meter panels of sliding window facing the backyard. It all settled down. So this what we had to put it in our report, and we had to put recommendation here. They want you to put recommendation as well, what needs to be done to be rectified. So we asked for cores to be done on the slab, and they really found that it was hollow. There's nothing supporting the slab or whatever. So this was killed, which we're glad we found it, because it's nothing structurally. The villa will not collapse because it was a slab on grade, but it will cost an amount of at least $15,000-$20,000 to rectify.
Yeah.
In the pre-handover, you can't kill a deal. You purchased and you're getting a brand new villa from somebody. However, you give them the report, and the developer is obliged to go and do all the rectification before they give it. So you cannot kill it. There's nothing called kill it, because
Yeah.
whatever happens, they will do it.
Yeah.
But,
What do you call homes in Dubai or UAE? Are they called villas or flats?
they call apartments or flats, depending on where you're coming from. So if you're from the Europe, mostly UK or whatever, they call it flat for apartments.
Right.
Some people from they call it apartments, and villas, mainly villas. So
you kind of have to adjust depending upon who your client is, right? If they're English speaking, or do you have a lot of Arabic? Let's see, Arabic is the official language of UAE.
Absolutely, and we get a lot of business from local people as well.
Yeah.
And yes, exactly. But the report, of course, in English. Most of the local people are, the new generation are very well educated. They are Westernly educated or whatever.
Yeah.
So of course the report is in English, but most of the communication happens in Arabic. I speak Arabic, of course.
Yeah.
So most of the communication happens in Arabic. Yes.
So that's interesting. Why are the reports written in English?
Because we use our friends at Home Inspection Pro, and they don't have Arabic. And honestly, it would be hard for us to even type it in Arabic. I mean, it's not going to be that simple.
You can't do translate.
I mean, it's unneeded headache, I guess.
So what software do you use? What software do you use?
Home Inspector Pro.
Yeah, why do you like it so much?
Honestly, that's the only one I'm used to. I mean, I've looked at the others as well. It was all through you guys and your recommendation, whatever. But with the Home Inspector Pro, this is where we started with, and we know the team there. They're very supportive whenever we have an issue, whatever. And we got used. It's a matter of what you got used to. I like the format. Once you master it and you know how to put the proposal in a decent format, I think whatever software you will use, it will become your favorite software. We don't want to change at this point, but it's doing a pretty good job. When I look at we have competition, of course, and as I told you, they are not part of either InterNACHI or anything that related to home inspectors. They are home valuators. Certified, I think it's called the organization that certified evaluators. It's called RICS, I think RICS certified from the UK.
Mm.
And valuators, as you know, it's two different things than inspector. Valuator is the one that the banks use when you're buying a property to come and evaluate your house, right? But they meet the other criteria of being civil engineer. They partner with the civil engineer, and they have experience. They have been doing this, inspection or whatever. But when I look at their report, because I ran into some customers are nice enough to send this report from sample report from other companies, whatever. So by now we got an idea of what they give the clients. I think it's night and day, in my view, between Home Inspector Pro, what we use, and what they give. They
Yeah.
use a nice version of an Excel sheet, kind of.
Yeah.
It's very cumbersome. They go here again. One of the funny part is that they go with the quantity versus the quality. So the bigger the report, they think it's better. So for a villa, 3-bedroom villa, they get the report 160 pages. They look at every tiny, yes, people want you to look at cosmetics, but if there's a tiny bit of hair from a brush on the wall, they put it on the report because they just want to get as many items as possible. And they
Do you
think
put
that,
pictures in your report?
of course, yeah.
The Home
No,
Inspector Pro is a good software. I've used it for many years. Now there's the Dubai is
actually,
on,
by the way, you're the one who got me into it because I saw one of your webinar training, and you were showing the Home Inspector Pro,
yeah,
and since then I got hooked into it. So
yeah, it's
credit goes
easy
to
to
you.
use. Yeah. Uh, so Dubai is on the southern part of the Persian Gulf, and in the Gulf, you have these amazing artificial fake islands, the
Oh
Palm,
yeah, at
the
the Palm. So we
Atlantic.
do a lot of villas in the Palm, by the way.
Yeah. So
uh,
do you inspect those houses there? They look beautiful.
many, yeah.
Ah,
Most of the people that can afford us, or here the service is not cheap, right?
yeah.
So the people that can afford, and they are well informed enough to invest in inspecting their property before they buy it, are people are usually that buying luxury properties, and I'm talking about villas in the Palm. Sometimes it's in the $4 or $5 million kind of range. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's expensive stuff. So we get a lot of business from the Palm. And believe it or not, we get a lot of business in apartments as well. So don't get me wrong. I mean, people. The most funny part is that we get a lot of inquiries for inspecting studios.
Real small.
Studio. I mean, what do you want me to inspect? I mean, but sometimes people, they just want to feel comfortable that
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with the studio. So we go there. I have like 3 people working with me,
Yeah.
but not one engineer like a supervisor and 2 kind of skilled workers. And they go, you really can be in and out. You check a few things on the electricity or whatever you go. I don't feel good taking a fee for a kind of a 15 minutes, but they're happy to do it. I mean, of course, you don't charge much, but
Would you share what the conversion would be into dollars
yeah.
or euros?
So a typical, I would say, apartment, 1 or 2 bedroom, let's say, or from studio to 1 or 2 bedroom, around, I would say, in US dollar, I would say 300,
Hmm.
300 US dollar. For villas, it depends on the. To be honest, we don't have a set figures for villas.
Yeah.
Again, I keep remembering things, so it's good discussion because here a lot of our competition, and not a lot of, most of them, and don't ask me why, they price per square footage. So
Hmm.
they ask you how many square footage, you say 4,000, they charge usually around the dirhams. And a
Hmm.
dirham is like, let's say 30 cents. So
Hmm.
4,000 square footage villa, meaning 4,000 dirhams. So it's 1,200. So a little bit more than what we charge, and it's not dramatically more. We don't do that. We don't go by the square footage because it doesn't mean anything.
Well, how
Sometimes
do
we
you do
go.
it? How do
We
you
do it by the number of bedrooms.
Hmm.
So I don't care if the bedroom is big or small or the hallway is big or small. It's not gonna really make a difference with us. It's the number of bedroom, and
Yep.
we're the only one that go by the number of bedroom. And also, we when we talk with the client first, and we talk about what their expectations, we differ our prices as well, because some people are paying, I don't mention the word, but really paying in terms of they need every single details, which is the type that I was, every dot on the wall. So you go into a room, and for me, or from our standard, it's pretty good. You check the electrical, you check if there are any cracks, you check this, you check that, you use the infrared to check if the air condition works, whatever. But that's not the case. They need, seriously, and they will not accept the report unless you're mentioning every, because it's a brand new, and he's expecting, he's getting it from the developer. He needed to be like 100%, not 99.9. So we talk with them first, and depending on how meticulous they are, we price it, because by experience, we used to give it like a one, brush for everybody. And if it's 3 bedroom, we charge this. If 4 bedroom, we charge that. And it hovers, to answer your question, around the 30 cents, let's say 35 cents US per square footage or whatever, around that figure. Um, but as I said, by experience, some villas, 3 bedroom, we go and spend 5 hours,
Ah,
literally 5 hours, and some villas we spend the typical 2 to 3 hours.
hmm.
So that's why in the ones that needs a lot of details, these are the ones that we charge a little bit more.
And
So
what about ancillary inspections? What kind of extra stuff do you do over in your area, like Dubai? Do you? I heard infrared, but is there are there
infrared,
pools?
yeah,
Are there,
yeah, there are pools, of course, but we don't have it as ancillary. So we include pools in our, and that's part
uh,
of how we price it. So if it's a villa, is it with a pool or not? But pool is automatically included.
yeah.
Infrared is automatically included because it helps us in our inspection as well. So we use it, and I got again from you. We use infrared in all our inspection. Remember what
That's
you were
great.
writing on your website? If you
Yeah.
look at my website, it says the same thing. So I copied. Oh no, we learned from you, Ben. But
Right.
that's what we do it. We use it as a competitive edge,
Yep.
although all the companies do it.
Do, do you have radon or mold problems or?
Mold problem we have. We again inspect mold like anything else, but from testing and taking a swab or whatever. So we partner with a local lab, and what we do if they need a thorough mold, or if we suspect mold, and we can be 100% sure that this is a mold, and we tell them, uh, it's part of our inspection as well. Sometimes they need more thorough and lab tests or whatever, because they are not sure, or they want to prove it with a lab test. So we partner with a lab test where we take swabs and send it to them. They do the test, and in that case, we charge them basically the what the lab is charging us, which is nothing big. I think for each test they charge like $100 or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Now,
that's
now from mold, like, the environment over there in Dubai and
yeah.
UAE is dry, arid, right?
It's
I'm
no,
surprised
it's
about
not
mold.
dry.
Huh?
It's not. Oh,
Oh,
Dubai
no.
is, humidity is like 100% in the summer, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah.
I- I'm exaggerating, of course, but no, it's so humid. Here in the summer, the
Okay.
temperature can go up to 55 degrees, and that's another challenge that I wanted to talk about as well.
Yeah.
When we're inspecting, property, especially the exterior part, we have to be out, and I'm not kidding when I say 55 degrees. I mean, you can fry an egg on the hood of a car. It's so hot and so humid as well. With you wearing these glasses, literally, if you leave your car and you're moving 10 meters to your office, you won't see anything. It will fog. It's that bad. So there's a lot of humidity,
Yeah.
and therefore there's a lot of mold issues. We see a lot of mold
Yeah.
issues, especially when it comes to resale, which, as I told you, not a lot in the portfolio of the business that we have. It's mainly brand new, so you don't have mold yet,
Yep.
but they will get mold. I'm pretty sure.
And
Bear in mind, it does not rain in Dubai. You know, year round, you get the rain season is literally probably a week or two during the winter time,
Hmm.
and it rains nothing compared to what we're used to. There's nothing like thunderstorms and a heavy rain or whatever. I mean, you get 1 or 2 days heavy. They call it heavy, and the streets, of course, get, you know, because they are not prepared for it.
Yeah.
So the other part that probably different than what anybody is used to is when we go and inspect villas, we soak the roof because there's no rain, so you cannot know whether the roof is properly waterproofed or not.
Right.
So part of our prerequisites is that we send somebody a day before the inspection. They go up to the roof. Most of the roofs are flat roofs, by the way,
Hmm. Hmm.
and most of them would have like a bip hose, basically,
Yeah.
and they soak it. They soak it. You
Really?
know, when you're testing water test for a swimming pool, for instance, after you do the
Right.
installation, we do that for the roof because
Wow.
we completely soak it with at least 5 centimeters, thickness of water. We
Yeah.
leave it until the next day, and then we go do the inspection, and then we see what happens. Most of
Wait,
the time, it's
you block the drainage?
you block the drainage. Yeah, their drainage, they don't have our like the typical downspouts like we have outside the building.
Yeah.
It's usually like downspouts but inside the walls, and we'll go like there's no
Wow.
gutter, there's no downspout, so it's different. So you block it, you soak it, you leave it for a day, and you go see what happens.
That's
One
amazing.
villa, I remember we did this. It was, you cannot imagine. I think the contractor forgot to put any waterproof. So it was dripping water, which is good, by the way, and it gets very much appreciated by the homeowners because, as I
Right.
said, these are brand new villas from
Wow.
the developer, and the developer, still did not hand it over to the client yet. So they in that case they redid the roof completely,
Yeah.
and it was a big deal, but they delayed the I think the handover for at least 2 months or whatever because it's a lot of work. They had to take all the tiles out or whatever. But it was, if you'll be laughing, it was dripping water like it's raining inside the building.
When I did home inspections in Europe, I was in Greece a couple years ago. There's nothing built out of wood. Everything's
Yeah,
concrete,
yeah,
reinforced concrete.
it's all reinforced.
What's it like
Absolutely,
there in Dubai?
all reinforced concrete. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Like the walls will be like concrete block walls, and of course the structural element, all the columns and the beams or whatever. It's a typical concrete structure, flat roof. Even if they have like a typical inclined roof, they will have it from an aesthetic standpoint, like just it's,
Sure.
it's not the actual roof, so it's a flat with all the insulation, and this they do it just for the look of it, but.
Yep.
No attic, no crawl space here.
Yeah.
There are basements, of course. A lot of villas have basements.
Did you ever inspect that really tall building? It's Dubai's amazing architecture. There's a huge, very tall building. What's it called? It's like,
Burj Khalifa.
yeah. Ever
Okay.
go in there? There's dwelling
I've
units.
been there, but not to inspect. So I need the entire InterNACHI member to come and help me out.
Right. It's pretty
Uh,
amazing. I looked it up. It's literally, what is it? 830 meters, which is a half a mile in my language, a
yeah,
half a mile in the sky.
it's,
That's amazing. That's
as
just,
we speak, it is classified as the tallest in the world. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
wow.
Uh, it's crazy, but we get here as well some businesses for doing what they call a condition audit report, which is an inspection, but in a different terms for buildings.
Yeah.
So we just had one a 30-floor building where the management association, the homeowner association is changing. So the new one asked us or asked others, of course, to go and do a condition audit report for the building. We just been into one, and luckily it was across the road from me here, just
Yeah.
so it's not too far. Um, and it was worn out. You cannot imagine what we found. There's nothing to the extent, I mean, we did the inspection at the end of it. I got stuck in an elevator for 1.5 hours. So the
Oh,
elevator, although it's a new building. When I say new, it's 7 years old. It's not very old,
yeah.
but everything is worn out. Nothing really works.
Oh. Well, I know you have some family in both areas. In Toronto, you have your children, and you live in Dubai. How's we spoke about this earlier? How's life with COVID and business with COVID?
Uh,
How are you handling things?
Yeah, no, Toronto is at the moment is in complete lockdown, and my kids are depressed already, so they're
Mm.
stuck at home. And they both work, but they work from home. In Dubai, it's a party party town. So as excuse me, as I mentioned, um, during wave one, they had a military lockdown, and luckily I was in Toronto at that time. I escaped before they closed the border. But my friends and people that living here, it was you apply online to get a permission to go get groceries.
Mm. Wow.
Uh, Now it's open like crazy.
Yeah. Bars, bars and
Sorry,
restaurants are open.
restaurants are open. Recently, they closed all the bars, but all the bars turned themselves into restaurants and they open. So,
Yeah.
and
Well,
whether the beach is busy and everything is working, business as usual.
well, Ehab, I really appreciate you taking some time out and telling us about life in Dubai, in Canada, and doing home inspections. That was really neat. I can't wait to go there myself. I think it's a beautiful place and visit. Maybe we'll hook up and go to a bar and then do an inspection
Yeah,
afterwards.
right after COVID, I'm waiting for you. Or anybody else from the participants, by the way, you're all welcome. So make sure you reach out if you come to this part of the world after COVID, of course.
Yes. What's the website address of your business so we can
It's gtainspectors.com.
gtainspectors.com.
Yeah,
Thank you,
have a
Ehab.
look
I
at
really
it and
appreciate it.
let me know what you think if you have any improvement recommendation.
I'll take a visit. I'll look at and I'll keep talking to you. I really appreciate it, friend.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
very
much.
much. Stay
Thanks a
safe
lot.
and healthy.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks, guys.
Bye. Bye, everybody.